Hi everybody. We're going to start off with the Pass the Peas group by talking about portion control. And I don't know if you've kind of got the whole thing yet, but the reason the group during February with a focus on nutrition is called Pass the Peas is because every post will begin with a P. For some reason, as I was brainstorming some of the topics related to nutrition, every single one that came to my mind started with a P. So here we are, passing the Ps, and not as a friend, so helpfully commented, taking the Ps. Anyway, I wanted to kick off for this first little video talking about portion control, because this is one of the most basic things we can do when it comes to how we fuel our bodies. Many of us haven't got a real clear idea of what size our portions should be, how much we should be eating. So some of us are under eating, some of us are overeating, and also the makeup of a portion of like a meal, the makeup of that meal, what should it have in order to be fueling our bodies. So I want to touch on this subject first because I want to give you guys the opportunity to buy some coloured portion control containers, which I think probably is one of the most helpful things you could do for yourselves during this month and then going on from here into the rest of the year. I have personally been using these portion control containers for more than a year now, I think. I think probably the main thing for me, it wasn't necessarily that I was overeating, but I was eating too much of certain foods and too little of others. So I was eating too much of carbs, especially because it's the easiest thing, you get hungry, you make a piece of toast. Especially in my family where my husband is always making homemade bread and all kinds of things which are kind of carb related. So I would easily be eating too many carbs and then not enough protein, especially as a vegetarian, and not enough vegetables, actually, funnily enough. I was eating more fruits, which with the sugars is more on the carb side, than I was eating vegetables. And this whole system has just really helped me to take more care over not just how much I eat, but how much of different food types I'm eating. So many of you, if you've been kind of part of these little videos I've been posting for a while now, you may have seen me explain these already. Some of you may be using them, but for those for whom it's a new thing, I'm just going to run over the whole system again as quickly and clearly as I can, just to give you an intro. These coloured containers, of which there are 6, so purple, green, they're actually still wet from the washing up, red and yellow, blue and orange, and then a teaspoon. This system was developed by one of the trainers that's part of the Beachbody company, whose fitness programs I personally follow and really recommend. So Autumn Calabrese has developed, well, she's very well known for developing the 21-day fix program. And like any fitness trainer, she knows that a good percentage of the work that you need to do in order to get in shape, that I need to do in order to get in shape, is what happens in the kitchen. It's nothing to do with what happens at the gym or what happens on the treadmill. It's actually to do with what happens in the kitchen, and how I fuel my body really affects the results that I get from the rest of the stuff that I do, right? So she developed this system to make it really easy for people. And the reason it's effective is because it simplifies everything, and it also gives you a really good, it trains your mind to kind of get a good eyeball of what a portion actually should look like. My husband's been in the United States this last week, and one of his comments was, because they'd gone out to eat every evening, oh my goodness, the portions are like double what I would normally eat. And it's really easy because it's on your plate just to eat what's there. I took out a couple of plates from my cupboard today This is one plate, really nice plate. This is a wedding present. Now, if I were to fill this space, that would just be way too much food for what I'm supposed to be eating. But because it's like a lot of white space, it would be really easy just to kind of fill that space in. This is a different plate that's in my cupboard. And first of all, it's got a broader rim, so the middle section is smaller. And then because it's got a lot of pattern, you don't kind of feel the same pressure to fill the white space, you know? So actually, it's a funny little trick, but the plate that you eat your food off does make a difference. So one of the things that we've done on the leadership development course, which I'm part of, and you know, it's kind of self-leadership as well as all other kinds of leadership, is to offer 2 different size plates for the meal times, and to encourage people who need to take care of their portions just to take it's not like a tiny plate, it's like a medium-sized plate instead of the bigger plate. And of course, because you feel like you're getting plenty of food because you're filling that plate, but it's actually a different size plate to one that you would normally take. So have a think about that. Take a look at the crockery in your drawers and cupboards, and think about, am I just taking more because actually my dishes are bigger, you know? Anyway, to get back to the coloured containers. You can order these from Beachbody, and you can, if you're not in the United States or England or Canada, you can also order them from Amazon. So this is how these work. This purple container is for fruits. This green container is for vegetables. The red is for proteins. The yellow is for carbohydrates. The green is for healthy fats. The orange is for seeds and dressings. It still has its label on. It actually says seeds and dressings. Very helpful. And the teaspoon is for oils and nut butters and that sort of thing. So when you purchase this, and I can put a link in the Pass the Peas group so that you can all see it. When you purchase this, it comes with a little bit of a formula that you have to use to figure out how many of these in a day should I be eating. And so it is based on calorie intake. So initially that's what you're going to do. You're going to put in your weight, you're going to put in, I can't remember all the things, but it's like how active you are, and obviously your height, and do a little bit of maths. So don't get freaked out. There's a little bit of math to do at the beginning. And then it will tell you which group you should be in. So I'm in the lowest group, so group 1. So I get the fewest amount of things to eat, but then I'm smaller. So it will tell you, for example, once you've kind of figured all of that out, it will tell you, okay, you should be eating 2 purples during the day. Maybe you should be eating 4 vegetables, 4 greens, 4 reds, proteins, 2 carbohydrates. I can't remember, I'm just saying off the top of my head. 1 of the blue healthy fats, 1 of the orange seeds and dressings, and then, I don't know, say 2 of the teaspoons. Now that's just me kind of off the top of my head. I can't actually think of it without looking, which I could look, because it's right there on my fridge. So then what I do, because that's the totals for a whole day, right? So you can approach it in different ways. You can think, okay, I'm just going to eat like I normally do, and then halfway through the day check which of the containers I've had and what I've got left. I mean, that's one way to do it, but you either end up having loads of food that you should be eating in the afternoon, or you've run out and you've got, like, you know, 1 red that you can eat or something. So I find it more helpful to look at the totals for the day and think of meals and snacks, so breakfast snack, lunch snack, supper, and think about which of the containers I want to eat for those different meals. Now, one of the things we will be talking about during this group is timing of nutrition, because there is some science behind when you fuel your body. in parallel with when you do your workouts, just to get the best results for anybody who's interested in that. But really, what is important right now is to think about your whole day, the food that you're going to eat during that whole day, and divide up your containers so that I know, for example, that I'm going to have, for lunch, I'm going to have a carb that might be quinoa, rice, a wholemeal wrap, it might be a sweet potato, and then I'm going to have a veg and a protein. And my protein as a vegetarian might be lentils, it might be beans, it might be tofu, if you're eating meat, it might be chicken, and then obviously veg could be anything. It's a really, really helpful way and very simple. Once you get into it, honestly, I promise you, it might take you a couple of weeks to kind of get into the groove. But once you're into it, it's a very, very simple way of, first of all, making sure that you're actually taking on board the nutrition that you need. The nutrients that's in vegetables and proteins, for example, and seeds and nuts, is really crucial for the working of your body. And unless we're a little bit intentional, those are the things that are easy to forget. Oh yeah, man, I haven't had any almonds for 2 weeks, or haven't had any avocado, or whatever else the healthy fats might be found in, and they're crucial for the working of your body. So just helps to be intentional. It's not about depriving yourself, it's actually about making sure that the food you take on board really is of the best quality that your body needs. I remember when I was pregnant with Kezia, going to an antenatal class, and they were talking about weight gain and food that you eat when you're pregnant and stuff, and cravings and all that kind of thing. And they said, the thing to remember, of course you will be hungry, and of course you will want to eat certain things, but the thing to remember is that you're growing a little life inside you, and in order for them to, all the bits that need to be growing to make this baby, make this person, you need to make sure that every mouthful that goes in your mouth is as full of nutrients as possible. So don't limit yourself in terms of what you're eating, but make sure that what you put in your mouth is really full of the good stuff. Now then I would think, okay, that's great for someone who's pregnant, someone who's like creating life, but actually it's also great for us, for ourselves, for replenishing our reserves, for building muscle, for helping our brains work, for everything. All the processes that are going on in our bodies need high quality nutrition. So this is a really simple way for you to begin to think about the makeup of your meals, and to make sure that you're actually getting on board the nutrients that you need. So I'm going to post the link, and it will probably be an Amazon link. If you are signed up to Beachbody already, then you can order from Beachbody, and that would be fantastic. They are very good quality. The stuff that you get from Beachbody is better quality, I will say that. But for those who can't access Beachbody, this is also available on Amazon. So I hope that's helpful. If you've got any questions, please post them in the group, and I'll do my best to respond. Okay.